Having acquired the final fang, the light warriors returned to Dorga's house as instructed. There, they were met by Dorga and Un, who demanded that the light warriors must battle them in order to forge the Eureka key, which would grant them access to legendary weapons long ago sealed away in the land of Eureka. Weapons that were now necessary, if they hoped to defeat Xanda. Reluctantly, the light warriors engaged in battle. After which, they were rewarded not only the Eureka key, but also the Silk's key, which was needed in order to gain access into Silk's tower. There, the villain Xanda awaits as the adventure continues.
Okay, here we are at what one might consider to be the home stretch, but really it's not. Depends on how you look at it, because we are heading to the final dungeon, yes. But not only are there a couple more side quests we still have to do soon, but just because it's the final dungeon does not mean we're near the end, because this final dungeon takes forever to get through. And there are some things to do both in and on the way, sort of, such as these statues. The airship can't get through, but we can. Let us step down and use the fangs that we have been collecting to get past what blocks our way, just like we were told when we received the first fang, I think it was, and we were told that it would remove what blocks our path. These statues are what they meant. If we step forth with all 4 fangs in hand, the statues are destroyed. I destroyed one of them. Then Azure walks up to destroy the next, followed by Gatai. And finally, Gadia. The statues that block our path to the Silk's tower have been removed. But now, we have to go back and get our airship because there are also mountains in the way. And Lucrotas, which are just completely inconsequential, super early, well, not super early, but these are basically amongst the weakest enemies that are not on the floating continent, as evidenced by getting one shot by a bard. So let us retrieve the invincible. Take flight. I got some stuff. I restocked arrows, high potions, and I also went ahead and returned to the floating continent and bought 99 normal potions, just for that little bit of extra stability. Because again, with how long this dungeon is, we need every advantage we can get. So even though normal potions are completely useless in battle, having 99 of them will give us more stamina with healing outside of battle, because each one will heal for about 100, even if it's just 100 hit points. That's 9,900 extra hit points we're giving ourselves by having those, which is enough to heal our entire party to full strength and then some. And Azure got his skill up. Hello. Fools, you cannot stand before us. We are well beyond your level of strength. I'm gonna have Azure defend just to save on some arrows. I stocked up on them, and I really don't need to save on that, but might as well, because I only need 3 attacks to win this fight anyway. Let's take a look at how our stuff is going so far. We've got Daryl with level 33 skill as a bard. Still, so that's solid. 13 strength, which is terrible. 43 agility and vitality, 25 intellect, 35 spirit. The only stats that really matter on him are agility and vitality. The rest just kind of exist. Then we've got Azure, skill 46. Those stats. His best stat is agility with middling strength and vitality. Terrible spirit. For being able to use white magic, the hunter's spirit is atrocious. Then we've got the Mystic Knight, who has a little bit higher spirit, but fewer magic points than the hunter. Skill level 24, not quite as high because I haven't been a Mystic Knight for very long. And solid strength and agility, and that's pretty much it. That's what the Mystic Knight does, it hits stuff. And finally, Geomancer, skill 35, with most prominent stats being agility and intellect, with decent vitality, strength, and spirit. Overall, good rounded stats, same with the Mystic Knight. Whereas the Hunter and Bard are a bit more specialized with their characteristics. Or statistics, rather. Or whatever. It doesn't matter. Destroy this harpy! We do not need words. We only need weapons. Or something. Ow. Oh no! The harpy interpreted what I just said as a declaration of war. In addition to the fact that I attacked her. It would be nice if there were slightly weak or slightly stronger flying enemies just in this area, but all the air battles across the entire world are exactly the same encounters. So here we go. The Ancient's Labyrinth. A maze situated around Silk's Tower. We enter a door and the Earth Crystal. We have finally found it. It's the Earth Crystal. Under order of Sorzand, I shall bury you in the darkness. We have finally found the Earth Crystal, the source of Zan's power. Well, a source of Zan's power. It was weaponized and used to sink the other crystals into the ground and spread darkness across the world. But we have finally located it. And now, like the other 3 crystals, we shall claim the Earth Crystal back in the name of the light. Wreck this guy's shit. Ow. Arrow. Slash. That wasn't good damage. Nor was that. Okay, cheer again. We need to be hitting harder. Cure 2. Fight. You get in the front. Your terrain is useless here. That almost healed the flare damage. Cheer! Chop, 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 chop! Gadia, advance! Ugh, flare again. Ow! Daryl. High potion yourself. Well, no, keep cheering. I want one more cheer. Cure 2. Attack! Attack! Cure 2, Azure, keep our strength up. Chop, 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 chop. Our power's getting a little better. Ugh. Daryl, keep cheering. Cure 2. Gatai, support Azure with a second Cure 2. Gadia, keep the damage coming. Ugh. Ugh. Ta 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 ta! Behold the power of my bells! Cure 2! Cure 2! I wish I had stronger than Cure 2, but it suffices. Cheer! Alright, that's enough cheers. Let's start having you attack as well now. Magic! Cure 2 this time on Gadia. Gadia! Gatai! I said the names backwards, but whatever, attack. Oh no, he has realized who our healer is and has gone for him! He is a wise warrior. Ja-da-da-da! Daryl can attack as well now. Fight! Cure 2. Let's get some more heals. Heal, not ice. Let's do a group Cure 2. Everybody's a little injured. More damage! Group Cure 2, it won't heal much, but it'll get us just a little bit more healing while spreading it out. Ugh, Gatai is wounded. Sing! Azure, just keep healing. You're doing great. We can pull this off. Ugh, we just gotta keep ourselves up while striking him when we can. Cure 2! Oh, that was a good cure. Just so long as we can keep our health above Flare's kill range, we'll be alright. Oh no, Azure! And that's why we gotta keep above that. Which so far the most damage we've seen is about 1,000. Ugh. Alright. You. We need to change this up a bit. High potion. Because you are out of here twos. Fight! Fight! Have our stronger fighters get in there this time, while our weaker fighter uses a potion. Yeah, we did it! Victory! It was sort of a rough battle, but we got through it. Skill up! Skill up! Everybody except Azure got skill. Now let's do a bit of healing. The Earth Crystal at last. Light Warriors, one called Zand is abusing my power to plunge the world into darkness. Yeah, we've been told that already. Take the power which lies within me and rid this world of the dark cloud. Receive jobs from the Crystal of Earth. At last, we have liberated the final crystal and have gotten all of the crystal's jobs. I didn't read that.
The Silk's tower was built by concentrating the power of light.
Zand is trying to summon the dark cloud there using our power. Light Warriors, go to the Silk's tower and stop the Demon King Zand. We will. That is why we are here. We have new jobs. We have acquired Warlock, at last receiving the upgraded Black Wizard. As is the Shaman, the upgraded White Wizard. And then Summoner, the upgraded Conjurer. Not relying on random chance, but rather raw, magical power with its summons. We're not going to be using any of those. I am, however, very close to leveling up, so maybe I'm going to want to do that real quick before delving deeper into this place. Maybe. Unless I just happened to get a level up from these guys while I was trying to leave. That might happen. We will have to see. Hopefully it won't, but if it does, then it does. As we also head back to our airship, regardless, to replenish some of our strength. Just barely didn't level up. Perfect. Let's save. And now let's see how we can do this, if we even can. Because I don't have all the capacity in the world. At least I can get everybody unequipped all at once. Let's prioritize based on our current hit points. So you jump to Black Wizard. And then from there... Oh wait, you're exactly the same regardless. So just Viking. Gatai is next, priority. And then I think Azure would be next. Yeah, I can't really do anything to make yours better either. And you're just gonna have to be stuck as that. Because I don't have any capacity left. That's okay. You can get more stuff yourself later. And he already has our most hit points, so it's not too big of a deal. Vitality up. Strength and vitality. And then you get vitality. And you can equip the power ring for the time being. Sure, why not? And you should probably have some armor. Flame mail's better than nothing. And now we fight! As we get ambushed. And there's nowhere to heal here because the one thing the Invincible doesn't have is a Revivification Spring. So we're gonna try that again. Hello. Only 2 this time, that's much more reasonable. Daryl level up, Azure level up, Gatai level up, Gadia level up. Okay, we got our levels. And now we just gotta get back to our jobs. I had about exactly enough to get back. I have 1 capacity left. Still stuck with that flame mail, because that's what he's got. And now we have more inventory space, because we finally got rid of those stupid fangs that were taking up space. So that's another good thing about this part, is you free up 4 slots. Well, yeah, 4 slots effectively, but much of the game you didn't. It's just, you get a couple of the fangs in particular so early on, and then you're just sitting on them. And they're just in your inventory, being in the way for the whole game. Because you can't do the statues until you get to about this point. It just won't let you. Make sure we're full on high potions. We've got 99 of each. And we also have the Silk's key and the Eureka key that we must use in the Silk's tower. But first we have to reach Silk's tower. Also, while I'm here, I'm going to, no, not sell, I'm going to top off Azure's Yoichi arrows. So that I have 99 in my inventory, plus the 20 he's got equipped. Because again, this is going to be very long, and we're going to need the ammunition. Into the labyrinth, we venture forth. Our journey nears its end. We have been through so much ever since we stumbled into that cave, and were chosen by the crystals to be the saviors of this realm. And our journey now comes so close to its completion, yet there is still much fighting ahead of us. We cannot let our guard down just yet. I forgot to fix Gadia's formation. Chop, 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 chop. But it worked out. Let's get you back in the back row and then press onward. So this first part is just sort of a maze. It's not much of a maze. It's just this really long... It's just a preliminary dungeon to the final dungeon. Anyway, this is an annoying thing. So let's confuse one of you. Get Azure and Gatai into position, and Gadia paralyze one. I would have liked it to get paralyzed before it attacked, but that didn't happen. Solid damage though. And now, cheer. And then you two attack that guy. And you go for maybe finishing off the one that you weakened. And then we cheer afterwards. Perfect. And then he gets a critical hit on himself. He just took his claws and just drop a high potion and then a few cures. This way, we saw Treji. Hello, Treji. Oh no, monster guards Treji, a great demon. Cheer! And then everyone else, beat the crap out of it. Good, got the cheer off right at the start. The damage boost is minimal, but it's still better than nothing to get it off right away. Ugh. It will take more than that to defeat us. Daryl, switch your harp. Put the Lamia harp into your pack, and then whip out the Loki one in a sweet, swift maneuver, as it didn't matter, because while you were busy fumbling in your pack in a much less adroit manner than I originally was going to imply, Azure just shot the thing with your arrow, so by the time you looked back up, you're like, alright, I'm ready! The fight was already done, and you ended up looking like a fool. And then we get another back attack. Ah! Again, switch harps. Sing at that guy. Just the exact same thing that we did with the last group of these things. advance! Gatai advanced, but he had his shield at the ready, so he blocked the strike as it was coming at him. Lots of money and lots of everything. Let's fix our formation. High potion. Now let's drop a couple of these. As in a few. As in several. All the same word, basically, except not. But sometimes people like to treat them as the same word, even though they are not. What harp do you have? Lamia. Loki harp. Attack! Chop chop! Oh, nice crit. It didn't finish the job, but nice crit. Oh no! That's a problem. Loki. Switch to Lamia. Confuse that guy while everybody else goes for the Un clone. Oh, he summoned another one. This is becoming a problem. This is quickly getting out of hand. Especially because they do that. Alright, good. It didn't get unparalyzed. Alright, that one's confused. Loki! Attack you! Attack you! Gatai! Whip out your second Kiku. We need power at the moment. Okay, good. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha! And that guy's down. Oh, he's cured of his confusion. Quick, finish the job! We narrowly avoided a disaster. As your skill up. As well as other people. Azure, chug a few potions. You earned them, I guess. You earned them by getting your ass kicked. That's how you earn potions. By failure. Crystal Shield. Lilith Kiss. Can you use the Crystal Shield? You can. Genji Shield. Strength up and agility up. Which means that does a lot of things. 79, 68, 21. 5 blocks. 76. That also does strength up and agility up. And vitality up. Okay, so that's definitely better in those regards, and it's just better. Alright. I wasn't 100% sure if it would be preferable due to the Genji shield giving the strength and agility, but the Crystal Shield also does those things, and then some. Now you are a pain in the ass. So I am just going to whip out the Kikus right away and just try to get rid of you before you have the chance to summon those Un clones. It still takes time to defeat. The 2 swords didn't really speed it up much, if at all. Daryl is more skilled. At least now he's finally at a point. He might have already gotten to that point a little bit ago, but he's finally at the point where he can get back to a bard for free from being a Viking or whatever. Just beat the crap out of it. We do not need elaborate tactics against such a foe. It is just one lady with horse. It is not a large group that requires elaborate tactics. It just requires a swift solution of ow. Only the ow is inflicted upon her, not us. Just like that. But since she is dead, there is no owl for her. Only oblivion, or whatever happens at death. Some people would debate what happens. Most people would, actually. But we are not here to get philosophical about our ultimate demise. We are here to save the world. Crystal armor. 60, 33, 21. 56 to 60. 60, 36, 21. Wait, hang on. Oh, that's why. I was gonna say, where'd all my blocks go? Because my defenses were at 5 before. That's because I didn't have a shield. There we go. Yeah, 5x defend instead of just the 2 I had with the swords. And at least going into battles, I like to have the shield. If I'm gonna switch to the sword, I'd rather do it after the battle has started. And after a potential ambush has happened. Because if I go in there with the swords equipped right at the start, and I get ambushed, then I might take extra damage without having been able to do anything about it. Oh, that was a really good terrain hit. And then, we go back to the crystal shield. Oh, more treasure. It blends into the walls as if it's trying to hide itself. Dark scent. I think that's, hello. Great. This is a good way to start. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do our usual sort of back attack stuff. Lamia Harp. Confuse Un. Back up. Go forward. And then try to paralyze that guy. Ow. Doodly. Un was not confused. Oh no. Okay, she just used wall. That's not a problem. Paralyzed. Try to confuse her again. You two, go for the demon. Alright, that's taken care of. Un is paralyzed. Un is no longer paralyzed. That's okay. We can finish this off quickly. She's been weakened. Just enough for us to prevent her from doing anything, hopefully. Hopefully. Good. Hope was on our side. Every battle, I gotta make sure that we are good, that all of our strength is up, that our formation is fixed, and that Gatai has been returned his shield. And then we march on! Into this weird place that has lava for some reason. Hello. This team is weirdly color coordinated. That wasn't even remotely intentional. But we've got our top two with the green and brown, and then the bottom two with the blue and gold. It's weird. Oh, that was a much weaker Airblade. Oh, and then Gatai got bitch slapped. Gatai, skill up. This way. My treasy senses tell me this way is treasy. And by treasy senses, I mean I just knew that direction was the treasure. Evade, magic defense, magic evade, 81, 66, 21. Like one more defense. But we also got more magic defense, I believe. I wish there was a bit more diversity with the equipment. The equipment in this game is stupidly linear. Granted, it's old, so it makes sense, but I prefer when RPGs have more incentive to use specific pieces of gear over others, for one reason or another, because they offer different types of benefits. And yeah, there are some weapons and armors that offer different types of elemental bonuses, but the game doesn't tell you those anyway, so that's just a complete guessing game on your part. Aside from some of the more obvious ones. So I just kind of wish that there was a bit more to it, you could say. I wish most of the weapon and armor upgrades weren't so linear, but rather had different benefits. Like, I would like that maybe the Genji gear had some advantages, but some disadvantages to the crystal armor. But instead, the crystal armor... Please stop doing that. I was hoping confusing you would prevent that from happening. Well, at least that one's paralyzed, but it doesn't seem like I can confuse the Un clones. But I can paralyze them at least. Alright, there goes one. Gear 2! Ugh. There goes another Un clone, and hopefully Gadia can paralyze this one. He didn't. Confused. Okay, that's a start. Okay, it wasted his turn casting wall. And that one's paralyzed. Okay. Get back the Loki harp. And then everybody, engage the enemy! Dang it! He can still do that while he's confused. He just can't... If he attacks, he'll attack his allies. But he can still summon. Oh no, I really don't need that happening right now. Oh, interesting. If he summons them, then is it like the splitting, where if he summons a monster, they inherit his status ailment? Because I cured her from something. Okay, let's hopefully finish this. While Gatai is just slowly dying. Please stop that. I don't want to heal Gatai, just in case it gets nullified by another whirlwind. But I also don't want him to get taken out and have to use a Phoenix down to bring him back, or have his experience, or have him miss out on the experience points for the battle. Oh no, Azure's out of arrows. What a time for that to happen. It's okay though. We've almost got this. Gatai, use your strength. Use your determination to deliver that finishing blow. Yay, we got more skill. We didn't get crap for experience, but we got more skill. Gatai, take some high potions. Azure also needs some high potions. Gadia also needs some high potions. I've used so many potions already, and we're one step. I've used so many potions already, and we were only just getting started in this place. You need arrows. Gatai became more skilled. Perfect. Now quick, rearm your shield. And then, advance. At least that time we made it somewhere. Ah, good shield block. Quick, defeat this guy before he can do any crap. Just in case he does any crap, let's cheer. That way, if he starts summoning crap, at least we'll be in a better position for handling a drawn-out battle. Dang it. I think the damage from failed terrain is percentage-based, so at this point, each time he does that, it's more than a full potion of damage that I have to recover. Because I believe the damage is based on a percentage of the Geomancer's maximum hit points. Chug one more potion, and one more normal potion. That's also why I got the normal potions, because high potions alone, I don't feel are going to be enough. Down this way for hello! Dodge! Good job, Azure. Dodge! Good job, Gadia. You dodged right into his horn, instead of around it like you were supposed to. Sing! Music soothes the savage beast. Let us prove that's true. Hua! Kaja! Air blades slash through the enemies, controlling the power of the wind, and then the arrows and swords, and just all this stuff happening. Okay, good. Confused. Cheer. Attack. Attack. Terrain. Yes, betray your friend. Just lunge on him. Grab hold of his shoulders and take your fangs and just bite into his neck and rip out his throat. And then our attack knocks you back to your senses. But it is too late for you now. For we shall finish this. Switch harps again. Engage. You know what? You can cast Cure 2 on Gadia. Save yourself an arrow. Okay. High potion. That's not who I wanted to heal, but sure. That damage will need to be healed eventually anyway, so it's no real loss. I just was trying to heal Gadia, not Gatai. Crystal Helmet. More upgrades for Gatai. Oops. Well, you do want your shield, so... Crystal Shield. And then swap out the Genji helmet for a crystal helmet. Now you're just decked out in crystal instead of whatever Genji is. And then we go this way. And then we get ambushed by these guys, which is unfortunate. Alright, same plan for ambushes. Set ourselves up while we get into position. Sing at that one. You two, get into position. Hold on. Genji, now get into position, protected by 2 shields. Just having both shields in front of yourself as you march forward through the enemy's assault. That guy didn't get confused. But that one was paralyzed. Okay, you step back. This one wasn't affected by our stats, so go for him. Kiku Sword. Kiku Sword. Attack. Alright, that one's down. That one's paralyzed. Fall back. Alright, we know we can defeat these guys rather efficiently now. So, Loki, and then just go for it. Good damage, it's no longer paralyzed, but it will not get the chance to utilize that to any advantage. It will be dead again before it gets that chance. Down here we have more treasures. And another surprise attack. Alright, she's confused. Cheer. Defend. Defend. Terrain. Skill up, skill up, skill up, skill up. Okay, we all became more skilled. Back to your crystal shield. Everybody's good on health. Break sword. Ultimate staff. Phoenix down. None of that is useful to us right now. But this... Oh no! An ambush! It's not an... Oh no, it is an ambush! Ah! Okie dokie. So here's what we do. We use what we learned last time to defeat these guys. We know they can be paralyzed, so Gadia, go! While the other 3 gang up on that one, Gadia will try to disable the other. His friend saw through the plan and tried to intercept Gadia, but Gadia dodged, sort of, being merely grazed by its fangs. And now we move in for the kill. Double sword time! What is this? Treasure first. A great axe. Great. That's not even the Vikings' best weapon. The Vikings' strongest weapon, I'm pretty sure, is the Titan hammer that you get, or the Triton hammer, that you get way sooner than this. But for some reason, they have that stupid great axe. Like, at this point, who the hell is going to use that? Especially since they also sell those on the Invincible, so if you came this far, and you are somehow using so many Vikings that you need that many great axes, that you need the great axes because the Triton hammers that you were capable of finding alone weren't enough, then you're going to have probably already bought them on the Invincible anyway. Haha, you are paralyzed! Haha, you are dead! I was prepared to say, haha, you are no longer paralyzed! Accentuating the uselessness of my paralysis because of the turn order, but instead, I had to say a different thing because the enemy was slain before I got the chance to finish my statement, or rather, before my statement had a chance to be relevant. Do-dee-dee-do-dee-do. Oh no, he wasn't paralyzed. My plan. It falls apart unless this works. It didn't work. Ow. Alright. Everybody, you two gang up on that one. You fight. You. Terrain. Dang it. Terrain isn't even strong enough to have that drawback. I think that's the biggest problem with the Geomancer. It's a neat job in that it's a magic user that can infinitely use its magic, so you don't have to worry about magic points, but I don't feel like the terrain ability is strong enough to really be worth that risk of it failing, especially when the backlash for it failing is so strong. But it's still an interesting alternative. I haven't been minding having a Geomancer, but I don't feel like it's something I would go out of my way to have again. We're getting close to leveling up, but I also feel like I need to hang on to my magic points rather than change jobs. At least with most people. That's one advantage to the Geomancer, actually, is the Geomancer can switch jobs in the middle of a dungeon without using its magic points. So if you have a use for that, then I believe that's one major advantage that the Geomancer does possess over the Black Mage or the Conjurer. His magic won't do as much damage, naturally, but he has the capacity to switch jobs in the middle of a dungeon if need be, while still providing a party with magic damage, if magic damage is something that your party is otherwise lacking. And I feel like that's the main use for the Geomancer, on top of just having infinite magic points, despite the fact that I feel like the biggest issue with the Geomancer is just the backlash, the fact that the spells can fail. Because while some of them are good spells, most of them I just don't think are powerful enough to warrant that cost. Maybe if they were a little bit stronger or had a little bit more utility, like maybe if there was a terrain skill that could confuse or put all enemies to sleep. Just confuse all enemies or paralyze all enemies. If you had stuff like that, then I feel like it would be a bit more worth that cost. Like Airblade. Maybe if that, it only hits one guy, but look at that damage, especially at this point in the game. Maybe if I used that in this situation and it did 1,500 damage or something, or maybe not quite that much, even if it just consistently did over 1,000 damage, at least then it would feel a bit more worth it when I lose so much health as a result of it failing. I'm going to give you the Protect Ring for a second, and then give Gadia the Power Ring, just to see if I can have everybody else gain a level. I haven't been paying very close attention to how much experience I'm gaining per battle in this place. so it's hard to say for sure whether or not this is feasible. But I'm gonna go for it. And then you guys have the Protect Rings. Gatai just has what he has. I wish I could give him the Defender Swords, but he can't use those. But he can use the Crystal Shield. Genji was, just strength and agility, but the Crystal Shield also gives vitality, so I want to make sure to keep that on Gatai until he levels. His vitality still isn't super great at this point. 31 compared to the 44 and the 38. And then Gadia's is 26. I think they both have the same. Yeah, both Geomancer and Mystic Knight have the same vitality. It's just currently Gatai has that shield that's giving him a boost. Okay, this is a reasonable battle for this situation. Just beat the crap out of it. That's all we need to do. Gatai can't hit as hard, but he needs his shield so that he can ultimately become stronger. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Especially since the only cost was Azure getting gashed across his chest. But at least he is not dead. Dang it. I almost leveled up, but not quite. And now everybody is within level up range. Which means I now want to switch this back. Because currently Gadia overall just needs the hit points more. At least at present. You know what, no. Thinking a little bit ahead, I think I would still rather Azure get the more hit points at this point of the game. Just thinking of certain things that are to come. Presumably. What is this? A Phoenix Down. Phoenix Downs are always good. Just because there's only so many of them. And another, well, there we go, another Protect Ring. Now I don't have to worry about it. I got this at the perfect time. Vitality up. I actually forgot that was there. I knew there was a third Protect Ring. I just didn't remember exactly where it was. Maybe there's a fourth and I just don't know about it at all. Hello. Ow. But I knew there was a third Protect Ring. I just didn't remember exactly where. So let us do battle! Everybody do those things. Gadia, try to paralyze that one while everybody else strikes at the lower one. Doing what they can. Azure was at, before he took that blow, Azure was at 1990 hit points. Was that when this game came out? Maybe, I don't know. Probably 89 or 90. I would guess. Paralyzed. Good! The paralyzation paid off, and then that backfired. Azure's out of arrows again. These arrows really are not lasting as long as I would have liked. I'm starting to think buying some bolt, ice, and fire arrows would have been worthwhile. Daryl, Azure, Gatai, Gadia, we all leveled. We're all within approximately the same 100 hit point range. Gadia's lagging a little bit from being in that range. But it's close enough. No, you get a high potion first and then normal potions. Same with Gadia. Get him a high potion and then a couple normal potions. Yeah, I didn't think I would be going through arrows this quickly. So in hindsight, I should have bought some bolt, ice, and fire arrows. Those extra arrows wouldn't have put a dent in my wallet at all. They just would have allowed me to last longer with my arrows. Especially because I'm still not even a fraction through this place yet. And eventually he's going to run out of arrows. And I'm not going to have any arrows for him. Aside from my Medusa arrows. But I want to save those for later still. I'm not quite yet at the point where I want to be using those. In fact, you defend. I don't really need Azure anymore in this fight, so he can just defend. Oh, good defend! Oh, good paralysis! And then this is gonna cure... Oh no, it didn't cure the paralysis. Perfect. Now the paralysis is cured, but it is too late. Daryl skill up, Katai skill up. Oh no, an ambush! Ugh! Azure skill up, Gaudia skill up. Azure became more skilled by just hanging out because I'm running out of arrows surprisingly quickly. 99 arrows just seems like so much that I can't believe I've already attacked that so many times that I'm starting to realize that it's not nearly enough. Oh, we have more treasures. A holy lance. I have no use for that. A hell claw. I have no use for that. I do sometimes switch to Karateka, but it's weaker with only one weapon than two. Their attack power actually goes down if you equip them with only one weapon, because then they'll attack with only the one weapon. If they have a weapon equipped in one hand, then they won't attack with the armed weapon and then also attack with their empty hand. And because the Karateka actually gets a massive attack power bonus from fighting unarmed, they become weaker if they have only one weapon equipped, because you're missing out on half your power. Even if the power of the weapon is higher than the power of your unarmed. Okay, so that was just the preliminary dungeon. Now we're at the tower. What we just did, that was just a little super quick baby edition of what's to come.